Today we'll be talking about a science fiction film called Shin Godzilla, so be ready for some spoilers ahead. Somewhere in the waters of Tokyo Bay, a pleasure boat is discovered drifting with no passengers on board. The Coast Guard inspects the vessel, only to find a mysterious origami piece and a document inside. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts from beneath the water near the boat, and an underwater tunnel begins leaking what appears to be large amounts of blood. Yaguchi, the Deputy Chief Cabinet Secretary of Japan, is alerted to this incident along with other high-ranking government officials. No one knows the cause, but everyone is shocked after seeing the disturbing footage of the red liquid spreading through the ocean. The government quickly begins evacuating people from the tunnel, but strange, loud noises can be heard coming from below. Civilians recording the situation soon capture footage of what looks like a massive creature moving near the incident site, and Yaguchi also sees these clips online. He tries to warn the Prime Minister about this discovery, but he is dismissed for suggesting something so unbelievable. However, the meeting is suddenly interrupted when live news footage captures the creature on camera, leaving everyone stunned as they witness the terrifying monster. The creature starts moving toward land, entering the canals and causing widespread destruction as it smashes boats and collapses bridges along its path. After carefully reviewing the footage, scientists notice what appear to be legs on the creature and warn the Prime Minister that it may be able to move onto land. Government officials refuse to believe this is possible and advise the Prime Minister to reassure the public during a press conference. Before he can finish his speech, he is urgently informed that the creature has already entered the city. Panic spreads instantly as people flee through the streets while the massive creature pushes forward, scattering everything in its path. It moves toward densely populated areas, and large amounts of blood drip from its gills, likely because it cannot breathe properly outside of water. The government begins planning ways to contain the creature and warns citizens about the growing danger, but the monster continues to devastate everything around it. Its enormous body crushes buildings with every movement, leaving a path of destruction behind. Although it moves slowly, almost crawling due to its size, Tokyo's dense environment allows it to cause extreme damage in a very short time. The government considers deploying military forces, but is reminded that civilians must be evacuated first to prevent casualties. An evacuation order is issued, but moving the entire population of Tokyo within such a limited time frame proves to be nearly impossible. People are instructed to abandon their cars and follow police directions to avoid the destruction about to hit the city. The monster continues to wreak havoc, flipping cars as it crawls through major intersections. It climbs onto buildings and easily topples them with its massive body, killing anyone who failed to evacuate in time. Witnessing the scale of destruction, the governor of Tokyo demands support from the self-defense forces to stop the creature. However, military action is normally permitted only in the case of an attack from another nation, meaning the Prime Minister must make an exception to deploy forces. Given the unusual situation, Japan's leadership authorizes military involvement, sending helicopters to target the creature and ground troops to assist with evacuation. The giant monster keeps moving through the city, destroying everything in its path, but suddenly stops and collapses, likely due to its inability to breathe properly using its gills. Officials are confused by this sudden behavior and notice that the creature begins acting strangely as it rises using newly formed legs. Its outer skin darkens into a deeper red shade, and arms begin to grow from what were once fins. The creature rapidly evolves, doubling in size before letting out a powerful roar. It resumes moving toward the city, now towering over most buildings after entering a new stage of evolution. Its movements become faster and more efficient, and it can now stand upright, easily tossing trains and vehicles aside with its tail. Helicopters arrive at the scene and move in closer, but the pilots quickly realize that the creature looks different from earlier reports. They position themselves and prepare to fire upon receiving orders. After being informed that evacuation is complete, the Prime Minister gives the command to attack. However, soldiers soon spot civilians still present in the area. Unwilling to risk innocent lives or damage the military's reputation, the Prime Minister orders a temporary retreat. As the forces pull back, the monster takes advantage of the situation and escapes toward the ocean, returning to Tokyo Bay. Government officials assess the aftermath, and Yaguchi feels they have failed the public by not responding more effectively. The military searches for the creature in the water but cannot locate its whereabouts. A general suggests that the only option now is to prepare for its next appearance. Plans are made to use tanks, artillery, and airstrikes in a coordinated effort to defeat the creature when it returns. Meanwhile, Yaguchi is assigned to form a special task force dedicated to developing an effective countermeasure against the monster. A biologist suggests that the monster can evolve through multiple stages, while the team wonders how it generates enough energy to sustain its massive body. The most logical explanation is that it can biologically perform nuclear fission. After analyzing the available data, the team confirms this theory, discovering that the creature emits radiation wherever it goes. This also means that nearby residents are at serious risk of radiation exposure. Yaguchi is then contacted by a woman named Kayoko, who represents the President of the United States. She requests that the Japanese government locate a professor named Goro Maki, who had predicted the creature's appearance. It is revealed that the professor was expelled from Japan after opposing the government due to his strong stance against nuclear power. He is also identified as the owner of the abandoned boat seen earlier. After delivering the professor's documents recovered from the vessel, Kayoko provides additional research conducted by him. In these notes, he names the creature Godzilla, describing it as an incarnation of a god. Her report explains that humans had been dumping radioactive waste into the ocean, where a marine organism adapted to the radiation and eventually evolved into this creature. She also presents a complex diagram left behind by Dr. Maki, but no one is able to understand it. Yaguchi orders the team to study it immediately, believing it may hold the key to defeating the monster. Further analysis of the radiation reveals a previously unknown isotope that does not exist on the periodic table, suggesting the creature may contain unknown elements. The team also discovers that the monster possesses 8 times more genetic information than humans and has the ability to mutate on its own, making it one of the most advanced life forms on Earth. They theorize that its blood acts as a cooling system for its nuclear energy. This explains why the creature returned to the ocean after evolving, as it needed to regulate its body temperature. Based on this, they develop a plan to force the monster to exhaust its energy and then inject it with coagulants to solidify its internal cooling system. Before they can act, news arrives that Godzilla has resurfaced again, now significantly larger than before. Its skin has transformed into an armor-like layer, and its tail has evolved into a massive weapon towering behind it. The creature emerges onto land once more, destroying everything in its path as civilians flee in panic. It advances into residential areas, causing even greater destruction than before. Now towering over even the tallest buildings, it crushes homes effortlessly with each step. As it continues moving forward, it becomes clear that Godzilla is once again heading toward Tokyo. The government realizes it must act immediately before the creature reaches the capital or damages a nuclear facility, which could lead to even greater destruction. Since Yaguchi's plan is not yet ready, the Prime Minister has no choice but to deploy the full strength of Japan's military against the monster. The army prepares for the creature's arrival, positioning tanks according to their strategy. Helicopters are sent in as the first wave of attack, opening fire with autocannons and landing multiple hits on the monster's face. The assault proves ineffective, and they switch to heavier ammunition, but the creature remains unharmed. The Prime Minister authorizes the use of all available military weapons, and the squadron launches a barrage of missiles at the monster's head, causing massive explosions. Despite the intense attack, the creature emerges from the smoke completely unharmed, shocking everyone watching. The military initiates Plan B and orders tanks to target the creature's legs, creating a continuous wave of explosions. Artillery units also join the attack, striking the monster's face with powerful blasts, yet it continues advancing without visible damage. Eventually, the relentless barrage begins to slow the creature as it approaches a bridge. The military deploys its most powerful weapons, with aircraft dropping heavy bombs that create enormous explosions around the monster. The bombing continues and the blasts grow more intense, eventually forcing the creature to change its direction. However, the attacks only enrage the monster, and it hurls part of the bridge toward the tanks, forcing soldiers to retreat. The massive debris destroys multiple vehicles and even collapses the command post. The creature emerges from the dust unscathed and continues advancing toward Tokyo, while the military watches helplessly after exhausting its ammunition. With no other options, the government requests assistance from the United States to eliminate the threat. In response, the Americans deploy stealth bombers toward Tokyo. However, Japanese officials quickly realize that the scale of the explosions could cause more damage than the monster itself. The government urgently orders civilians to move underground to avoid the incoming blasts. Officials also evacuate the area, uncertain whether the American strike will succeed in stopping Godzilla. Meanwhile, the massive creature stands in the middle of the city, its body glowing red from the intense radiation within. The stealth bombers release their payload, and some bombs manage to penetrate the creature's skin before exploding. For the first time, visible damage appears as blood sprays out, and Godzilla lets out a roar of pain. The creature begins evolving once again, as the red glow inside its body shifts into a bright purple. Godzilla opens its mouth while the light intensifies. It releases thick black smoke, which quickly ignites into flames that spread across the city, destroying everything in their path. The flames then concentrate into a powerful plasma beam that shoots into the sky, destroying one of the aircraft. The Americans respond by launching more bombs at the creature, but the giant closes its mouth and releases multiple beams from its back, destroying both the bombs and the bombers. Godzilla then fires a devastating blast across the city, cutting through everything in its path, including the helicopter carrying the Prime Minister. The beam causes massive destruction, toppling buildings and leaving leaving the city engulfed in flames. After releasing all of its energy, the creature becomes inactive and enters a hibernation-like state, standing motionless in the ruins. Yaguchi survives the attack, but upon returning to headquarters, he finds the government in chaos after losing the prime minister and several key officials. Despite the situation, he refuses to give up and believes there is still a way to stop the creature while it remains dormant. A new prime minister is quickly appointed, though no one is eager to lead during such a crisis. Fortunately, most of Yaguchi's team survives the disaster in Tokyo, and he urges them to do everything possible to save the country. The team begins collecting coagulants from various companies and gathers DNA samples from the creature. The United States requests to collaborate. An analysis of the samples reveals that the creature can reproduce asexually and potentially spread across the planet. American scientists report this discovery to their government, leading to a decision to use a thermonuclear weapon to eliminate the threat. They calculate that if left alive, Godzilla could eventually threaten North America, prompting the United Nations to approve this extreme action. Yaguchi argues that there is still a chance to save Tokyo by freezing the creature, and requests time for evacuation before the strike. The team works urgently, needing a massive supply of coagulants and an effective delivery system. However, their biggest challenge is understanding the complex diagram left behind by Professor Goro Maki. After closely examining the origami he left, they realize the diagram is three-dimensional and must be folded to be understood. They finally conclude that the creature does not rely solely on nuclear waste for energy, but instead uses water and oxygen to create a unique isotope that powers its body. The monster is considered the greatest threat to humanity, yet it may also hold the key to human survival, as it can convert water into pure energy. This discovery raises concerns that the coagulants might not work as expected, meaning the team must fully understand the creature's molecular structure to adjust their solution. By collaborating with other nations and combining the power of advanced quantum computers, the team successfully deciphers the creature's unique composition and modifies their plan. Kayoko also chooses to assist directly, staying with the team and providing drones and weapons from the United States. On the day before the planned nuclear strike, the Japanese government prepares a final attempt to capture the creature and save the country. They deploy explosive-laden trains toward Godzilla, which detonate upon impact and awaken the monster from its dormant state. Numerous drones are then sent in, dropping bombs one after another to force the creature to expend its energy by firing its powerful beams. The counterattacks destroy nearby buildings and many drones, but eventually the creature begins to run low on nuclear energy. Godzilla redirects its energy into its mouth and tail, continuing to unleash destruction across the area. However, its attacks gradually weaken, with the intense plasma beams fading into ordinary flames. The team proceeds to the next phase of their plan by detonating surrounding buildings, causing them to collapse onto the creature. The falling structures knock the monster to the ground, and its internal temperature starts dropping rapidly as its energy depletes. After additional structures fall on top of it, the creature is rendered unconscious, giving the team a critical opportunity. An army of trucks moves in and begins injecting coagulants into the creature's mouth. However, after only about 20% of the required dosage is delivered, Godzilla regains consciousness. It immediately fires a powerful plasma beam at the trucks, destroying them and killing the personnel as explosions spread across the area. As the monster attempts to escape, more trains are sent crashing into it, triggering massive explosions that knock it down once again. Additional trucks arrive and resume injecting the coagulants, this time managing to deliver the full dosage. Even so, the creature rises once more and begins tearing apart the vehicles as it stands. Its body starts glowing purple again as it tries to move away. The monster lets out a final roar, but its body begins to freeze from within. Godzilla gradually becomes completely immobilized as its core temperature drops to nearly -200 degrees. The people watch in stunned silence, overwhelmed by what they have just accomplished. Scientists discover that Godzilla has an isotope with a half-life of only 20 days, meaning the radiation threat will fade relatively quickly. This allows citizens to return to their homes sooner than expected. The temporary government, along with the Prime Minister, steps down, making way for a new generation of leaders to guide Japan forward. Yaguchi decides to share all the collected data with other nations, believing that this knowledge could benefit humanity as a whole. However, it is later revealed that Godzilla was still evolving before being frozen. The creature was beginning to transform into forms resembling humans, suggesting it had recognized the power of humanity and was adapting accordingly. So, what do you think about this movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one.